Never
in the guest
know.
room.
I heard 40% of the audience is female, so either that's accurate or we're just really good liars. So
Yeah.
can it be both? Yeah.
Yeah, no, we're not. This whole industry is not a. We're not advanced stage con men or anything, are we?
No, 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 no.
No.
Not as good as the guys in the 60s and 80s, but yeah. Not
No,
even close.
God. Oh,
Not even close. We don't even kick out at 3.1. None of that stuff.
not,
Let's bring it back. Let's bring back bitterness, and not just online, but like in the ring. Let's bring it all back.
Let's say we're gonna do one thing to a guy's face, and then go out that curtain and do something completely different, and then like take it right to that line, and then just be like, "Everything okay for you, brother? Good?
Yeah,
oh, yeah brother.
everybody
Thanks,
okay? Or my favorite one, I used to see this a lot, and it was early 2000s, is as long as you're coming back to the curtain first, whether it's a live event or TV, just make sure you start about 10 steps out of the curtain. Oh, these guys don't know how to work. I can't believe that he stepped on my foot, 2 left feet. If you mess something up, or if you're not over and nobody cares and you're just stiffing everybody and hitting them really hard on the back, make sure you complain about them on the way back. So everybody's like, oh no, everybody heard? Oh no. It's like that kind of stuff. I love that.
Listen, this is like, that is a trick of the trade that
it is a beautiful trick if done properly. People in the early 2000s were doing that, and they got I watched a lot of people get nothing out of it, and rightly so. Be smooth about it. Come back, be quiet. Have everyone go, man, what's he brooding about? Oh, he must love the art. Like, what's he missing? And then you just sit in the corner like this and make sure everybody sees you do this. Oh, and then that way, no matter what you did wrong, you're the vet. And by the way, you didn't embarrass him in front of everybody. You let everybody see this because you did it 20 times, waiting for him to walk through. But you were the distinguished veteran who chewed him out away from everybody else. What a gentleman.
You let him you let him save a little bit of face by having subtlety and tact in your carnyism. No, you're right, man. I think today's, you and I have known each other for a minute or two.
Yeah, and 20 years.
Oh, man, you got signed in 2004.
I think the summer of 04. I'm pretty sure.
Okay, it's just a bright-eyed.
I asked TJ Wilson. When in doubt, I asked TJ. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh God, maybe you and TJ, and this is no showbiz bullshit. Like probably the two best I've ever seen. Had the pleasure, up close, personal, just absolute killers in there, just amazing. But I have I don't like giving compliments and then waiting for you to react, because it's like, oh, thanks.
I don't do very well. I was held too much, so I don't really care for those. Yeah, but I appreciate that.
Yeah, well, you're welcome. So
I appreciate the moving on part. Yeah. Hey, TJ, he's great. He's a killer. Big fan. Yeah. Agree.
I remember the first time I saw you. So I got to OVW in November of 2005. So you've been there about a year, and I saw you just at the end of the Heyman era in OVW, moving into the Al Snow, whatever the Al Snow. It's like a 20-year thing going on there with him.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I'm pretty sure in the last 20 years since that start, there's been some upset. Like he's like the owner, the GM, the face of the company. A lot of different things.
Right, the troubleshooter, whatever.
Yeah. Baseball bats were involved. I remember that.
So the first time I you hear I heard Kent State, so I always thought about Four Dead in Ohio, the song and everything, sad, tragic, but that's just what came to mind for Kent State. But then I saw you the first time you stuck out in my head. It started the Spirit Squad deal, really trying to figure it out in Developmental, OVW, and you were wrapped in bandages like a mummy.
Yes.
You were taking stunners. Like I seemed to. And I looked at this guy and I go, what he reminds me of is, you ever see like a like 2-year-old or 3-year-old whom shouldn't be able to swim, but like you put them in the pool and it's just like, oh my god, are they a fucking fish? Like, how does this kid know how? Like, that's what it looked like. It reminded me, like, oh my god, this guy can. There's something really there.
Sheesh.
Did that early part, but I also know that through the developmental stages, holy crap, what a stop start ebb flow. I mean, can you talk about the fear and the good and the bad and the ugly of first going on as a caddy for Chavo, and
Yes.
then all of a sudden you're a male cheerleader?
Yes. So several things. One, I had a Kent State shirt on at the gym, and I almost wore it, but it had too many sweat droplets on. But so I switched into my Rap is Crap World Tour last second. So that was some foreshadowing that you had there. We could have had a nice little, but I still got the St. Ed's High School hat on. No big deal. So yes. What a lot of people don't know, because a lot of people give me a pass for not doing the independents, because people say I was picking it up fast, but at first I wasn't. And a lot of people don't know this, but I was pulled aside 5 or 6 months in and was told that you're not going to believe this, that I'm not selling anything. Yeah, it's like a prank, but yeah. So, and I'll show you motherfuckers, for the next 20 years. But there was I could only do, like, I wasn't a legacy, and I didn't come from independent wrestling, and there was no training for me. I just watched it as a fan from 5 years old on. So I had just come from my senior year at Kent State, where 2 times at the national tournament, my shoulder came out of place. So 2 different times, you're so focused on, when amateur wrestling, not showing emotion, or like you're holding onto a leg and there's 30 seconds to go and you need to hang on to this to win by 1. And you don't want your opponent or anyone to know that you're like, I am gripping my hands, but the other shoulder is useless. And I don't, you show no emotion until you're done. And then you go boom. And then, like, you hope that the trainer can pop it back in for the next one, whatever. But that part was in my brain. Like, I knew I loved Ric Flair and Kurt Hennig, but I didn't know how to put that to play in the ring, because I was so focused on like not showing the emotion and not giving the show. And then that slowly, I got pulled aside saying, it doesn't seem like you're picking this up. You're doing the drills, you're doing everything. And we had 3 or 4 days of practice a week, but also Mike Mondo had the key to the gym, and he would come in with me 2 or 3 days a week after Lance Storm's class and just reiterate Lance Storm's class to me. And then there's that off and on. No one is allowed in Rip Rogers' class. Rip Rogers is dead to WWE. Rip Rogers is fired. No one is to have contact with him. Also, you should go to Rip Rogers' class and learn. And that was very much over the, like the Al Snow story of OVW, to where some weeks he's fired, no one is to go near him, and you'll be fired. And some weeks it's like, why is no one learning from him? So I always was secretly learning from him 1 or 2 days a week also. So I was trying to my goal was to get like 2 years of training in 5 or 6 months, because I was the only one at the time in that class who had not come from independent, and everybody seemed so much better than me, and I was trying to get better as fast as I could. So it was like timing that out into reality, like right before the reality era was starting for WWE. It was a couple of months of me finally getting, like, acknowledging and selling my facials and body wise, and then going above and beyond to show them that, like, don't fire me, I get this now, I'm going bigger. And just as I got about 3 or 4 months of, you're learning Memphis style, show all 4 corners of the arena, the pain you're in, and all the different pieces of the play that we're doing, without having a Tron that can always zoom on your face, you got to show everybody. I got into that, and then 3 or 4 months later, I was locked in. They're like, reality era, nobody's selling big, everyone's start getting your hands up, and all, like, oh. So it was like, I like focused like 6 months and 2 months into getting this all done, and then had to retrain my brain again to take it like, okay, I can do a Mr. Perfect bump on the finish, or the second last thing to make everyone think it's the finish. But when someone drop kicks me or gives me a tackle at the beginning, I can't do the rock stunner cell through the ropes unless it's Ryback or something, you know what I mean?
Right.
So like those pieces were all, and I was just trying to figure everything out. And then every day I just assumed, I know this is my dream, but they don't give a shit. Like there's 1,000 guys waiting for this job. I could be fired tomorrow. I don't know. Like, why am I not on TV after 6 months? Is everybody supposed to be? Does it take 2 years? Like, you don't know all these things. And I don't have like anyone in the business to know and ask. I had gone on a tryout with Lashley.
No one's telling you because you're a threat. You could be.
Sure. Yeah. And 6 months before that, before I started there, I had a tryout with Bobby Lashley, and they hired him and didn't hire me. Obviously, if you look at the two of us, I know who I pick, And I was like, I saw him the first day, and I was like, fuck, I'd pick you too. I go, this is my dream, but I'd pick you. So I got hired eventually, and then I had stayed in contact with Bobby, and he goes, hey, listen, just so you know, there's a couple people got skipped over for jobs here who have been working here for a couple years with Cornette on his TV show, and they're kind of pissed that you got hired. So people are coming for you when you get here. I'm like, oh, great. I have no friends, no legacy. I didn't work independence, and when I get here, someone's going to try and break my leg at practice. I go, great. It ended up not being that bad because I think it shouldn't have been that bad, but because a little thing that got me off the hook with a lot of people who thought I was just some guy whose agent had told him to try out for WWE in between movies or something. I saw Nova there, and he was a player coach at the time, but he was like lined up for a drill, and I was like, oh, holy shit, Nova from ECW. And that took 50% of the bite away from everybody who hated me. He goes, oh, you know what ECW is? Wow. And Nova, who's not he's not the main guy at ECW right now. So they found out that I was a fan. I hate that that's what stopped me from getting my leg broken or whatever, but or whatever else. Right. But it helped because they're like, oh, you're a fan? Do you ever watch this? I'm like, yeah, since I was 5 years old. This is my, and they're like, oh, okay. Well, didn't you amateur wrestle? And didn't everybody hate that? I go, yeah, most of the people called it phony bullshit, but they were behind me when I was, trying to do it. And the whole goal of going to all the way through college was to break the record at Kent State. So when Vince McMahon Googled my name, the first thing it would say, all-time winningest wrestler at Kent State. So even if he's only 5'11" and 190 pounds, but he can possibly tap some people out or go, that was my shot. So that's all that worked out, I think.